a little bit dangerous. One major hub for counting ballots in Detroit covered up the windows again with large pieces of cardboard. And so they wanted to protect and block the counting area. They didn't want anybody seeing the counting, even though these were observers who were legal observers that were supposed to be there.
Workers at a Detroit counting location did cover windows at the site. But that was after what officials described as a chaotic confrontation when protesters arrived at the building. Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany retweeting video of the windows being covered with more than 7 million views and the caption, "Shady." This morning, election officials tell the New York Times the windows were covered because of concern about people taking unauthorized photographs and videos. The president also claiming that the election apparatus in Georgia is run by Democrats. But Georgia's Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, is a Republican. Trump even endorsed him in 2018. In the meantime, some Republicans are pushing back against the president.
Because I know there's a lot of people who think this election is stolen. A lot of people think there is fraud. And you know what? There may be fraud. There may be all that. We don't know that right now. And for the president to go out there and claim that without any evidence of that is dangerous.
And overnight, Senator Lindsey Graham standing by the president, even donating $500,000 to Trump's legal defense fund.
He stood with me. He's the reason we're going to have a Senate majority. My race was overwhelming. He helped Senate Republicans. We're going to pick up House seats. The allegations of wrongdoing are earth-shattering.
Back to Senator Lindsey Graham. When asked if the state legislature in Pennsylvania should pick the state's electors, he said everything is on the table. And Senator Ted Cruz also saying, quote, we may well see state legislatures getting involved. Kenneth, Mona.
Our thanks to Andrea Fujii. And let's stick with the president's comments and reactions to them.
Earlier, we spoke with ABC News contributors, former Virginia Congresswoman Barbara Comstock and former Hillary Clinton aide Amanda Renteria.
Barbara Comstock, Amanda Renteria, thank you so much both for joining us this morning. I want to start with you, Barbara. The president had a stunning news conference earlier this afternoon in which the president claims that he wins only if legal votes are counted without any evidence of fraud. He also made allegations of illegal voting in Nevada. I want to get your reaction on the president's claims.
Well, it was reprehensible, and it not only was graceless, sore loser or anticipating being a loser, it is dangerous to our election integrity. And I'm part of a group called the National Council on Election Integrity, and I'd like to just read a little bit of their statement that they put out tonight in response to it. It's, quote, the president spent 15 minutes this evening using the podium of the White House to make false claims that undermine the integrity of our elections. And that's from 40 people, including people like Dan Coats, who was part of his administration, Michael Chertoff, but also Madeleine Albright, and many former members of Congress, Democrats and Republicans. It was appalling, as well as the behavior of his sons going out and threatening members of Congress for not, coming out and agreeing with them. And I think as Chris Christie, who's been an advisor to the president, said tonight on ABC, if they have evidence, then put it up.
And Amanda, after 4 years of President Trump, I'm pretty confident that we can say that he's known as this bare knuckle cage fighter when he wants to push back and fight back. So how can Democrats combat this as the president challenges this in court, goes on camera, makes baseless accusations that he cannot back up with evidence?
I think it's important to do what Biden is doing right now, showing the difference between his leadership and Trump's leadership. But I also think it's really important to go around and hold Republicans accountable. And perhaps it will spark a conversation where you will see Democrats and Republicans beginning to work together in what will hopefully be a new administration that actually credits public servants, brings back credibility to the institutions that have long served us, and really puts back into place some normalcy and decency and respect in our systems. I think today was a real calling to all Republicans. For somebody who's been seeing this for a long time, I think it's about time, and I'm glad we're here, but we've got to speed it up because I don't want to see more of what we're seeing around the country with people going to some of these polling sites where people are counting votes, where you have poll workers who are just trying to do their job, and folks outside the door banging down the door because you have a president who's afraid of losing and who doesn't know how to do this with grace and how to put country before himself.
Our thanks to Barbara and Amanda. And Barbara went on to say that the president actually hurt himself by railing against mail-in voting and urging his voters to vote in person. I also want to go back to the president's words, because during that press conference, what stood out was the fact that the president not only said that there's widespread voter fraud, but he also singled out Detroit and Philadelphia.